How's it going, my peeps? It is now time for the Payback 2015 results / highlights and review video. So I'll be going over the results, some of the highlights in my opinion, and giving you guys my thoughts and my review on the show. So it starts off with the kickoff, which, you know, it's the usual. They hype up the matches, show video packages for the matches, and you've got some interviews in there. There was an interview with Dolph where he says pretty much that tonight isn't about stealing the show, but it's about getting payback on Sheamus. And then there was also a Bella Twins interview where Brie Bella talked about Daniel Bryan's condition for a little while. And she was talking about how tonight in their tag team match, Daniel Bryan is her inspiration. Following that, we actually get a unannounced matchup. It's R-Truth versus Stardust, which I think happened on Main Event this week, or Superstars. One of the two. Might have been Superstars. So anyways, Truth picks up the clean win, and it was actually like an odd finish, or not an odd finish I guess, but like just a plain finish. It was R-Truth started hitting Stardust with a couple strikes, with a couple punches, and then Stardust just charges R-Truth. Truth hits him with a little Jimmy, covers him, and gets the win. After that, we get the announced kickoff match, which was the Meta Powers, Curtis Axel, and Macho Mandow versus the Ascension. And Axel, this time, actually came out to Hogan's theme song, and he was wearing Hogan's gear. He was wearing Hogan's, like, 2000-ish gear, the pants, so it's not the chunks. And he also had a, fake mustache, and the hair, and the headband. He hit the Hogan leg drop very early on in the match, so it wasn't used as a finisher. Eventually gets a hot tag to Macho Mandow, who starts cleaning house. He hits the scoop slam, and then he goes for the top rope elbow, but Konnor on the outside, he grabs Axel, takes him off the apron, and then he gets on the apron himself and takes Macho Mandow off the apron, and then he gets in the ring, and they hit the Fall of Man on Macho Mandow and get the win. So the Ascension actually win a match. They beat Macho Mandow and Axel, which came as a surprise to me. I actually thought for sure that the Meta Powers were going to win this match. But anyways, after that was pretty much it for the kickoff, and then the actual show kicked off with Sheamus versus Dolph Ziggler. It was a really good match. I thought it was really entertaining. And right from the get-go, Ziggler had the advantage. He went right after Sheamus, charged Sheamus, he clotheslined him out of the ring, got on the apron, jumped on Sheamus, and then once they were back in the ring, he went ahead and hit a crossbody on Sheamus. But then shortly after, Sheamus started taking control of the match. At some point, he goes for a back suplex on Ziggler. Ziggler backflipped out of it, and then he hits a jumping DDT on Sheamus, but Sheamus kicks out. And then a bit afterwards, we get Sheamus like down in the corner, and Dolph is up. So Dolph, while Sheamus is down in the corner, I saw this coming. He goes ahead and takes like his trunks. He doesn't take him off, but he takes part of it off, and he shoves it in Sheamus's face. So basically, making Sheamus kiss his arse. And then Sheamus quickly snaps out of it. He gets out of the ring. He grabs like a bottle of water and then rinses his mouth with it. And then once he gets back in the ring, Sheamus gets hit with the Faymacer from Ziggler, but he kicks out. And then Ziggler goes ahead and starts punching Sheamus in the corner, and Sheamus grabs him and hits him with a sit-down powerbomb for a 2 count. After that, Sheamus hits the white noise on Ziggler, and then he follows it up right away with the clover. I thought he was going to go for a pin after it, but he actually goes for the cloverleaf submission. But Dolph was really close to the rope, so you knew he was going to get to the ropes, and he does. And then after that, you have Ziggler in the corner, and Sheamus charges him. Ziggler goes ahead and headbutts Sheamus, and then he follows it up right away with a super kick. But you see that Dolph Ziggler got busted open from that headbutt. It was like instant busted open. It was kind of like when Brock hit that steel post at WrestleMania, so it was busted open pretty bad. He goes for the cover on Sheamus after the super kick. Sheamus kicks out, and then Dolph is still messed up from the headbutt. The headbutt did more damage pretty much to Dolph than Sheamus, so he's still down while Sheamus, he actually gets up and he prepares for the brogue kick. And Dolph doesn't even have the time to get up. He's still on his knees, and Sheamus hits him with the brogue kick, covers him, and wins the match. And that's it. So Sheamus wins the rematch between the two. And after that, we get a backstage segment with Kane and Seth Rollins. With Seth Rollins, trying to get Kane on his side, telling him, let's put everything aside and do what's right tonight. And then Kane tells him that, he doesn't really need this job and he hasn't decided what he's going to do tonight. And that, he would actually like to see Seth Rollins lose the title because he's a spoiled brat or whatever. And Seth Rollins goes ahead and tells Kane that if he doesn't ensure that Seth Rollins walks out with the title tonight, losing his job will be the least of Kane's worries. And then Kane just laughs it off. And that was it for that segment. And then after that, we get the New Day versus Cesaro and Tyson Kidd for the Tag Team Championships. Before the match, we get the New Day cutting a promo, basically, making fun of the crowd, while at the same time spreading positivity, kind of. But it was an entertaining promo. Really, I think the New Day right now is one of the more entertaining parts of, Raw or whatever show they're on, So afterwards, Cesaro and Kidd come out for the match, and once again, they have another great match. And by the way, the New Day, man, even on the kickoff show, the crowd, even though they're heels, and the crowd is reacting to them, as if they're heels. But anyways, so even on the kickoff show, the crowd was chanting, "New Day sucks." And the New Day wasn't on the kickoff show. They weren't in the ring. They weren't on the pattern or anything like that. So the crowd really likes the New Day sucks chant. So New Day is getting over. I mean, I like the New Day. But anyways, so first fall actually went to. By the way, there was a lot of double team moves in this match. It was a really good match. Once again, like I said, first fall actually went to Cesaro and Kidd when Cesaro hit he swung Kofi. Did the big swing on Kofi. And Tyson Kidd came in and hit him with a dropkick during the swing. And then they covered them and got the first fall. And also in this match, the two guys that were competing for the New Day, by the way, were Big E and Kofi. Woods did try to, enter the match, but the ref wouldn't let him. So anyways, the second fall actually went to the New Day. And they got that with their double team maneuver where Big E goes for the big ending into the DDT from Kofi. They got the second fall with that. At some point in the match, Big E went ahead and hit that spear. I love, man, that spear from inside the ring to the outside, taking him and Cesaro out at the same time. Cesaro was out for a while after that. They were working on Tyson Kidd. Once Cesaro came back in, he got tagged in right away. And then he went to work. I mean, he hit a really nice uppercut on Kofi. Kofi went flying after the uppercut and hit the back of his head on the turnbuckle. And at some point, Cesaro was going for a double underhook. I think it was a gut wrench, not a gut wrench, but a double underhook suplex on Big E. And it looked like he was gonna hit it, but then it looked like it was just nah, I can't do this. I can't flip him over. So you just left Big E and didn't follow up with it. Which, would have loved to see that if he could do it. Maybe he'll try it in the next match, because I think there's going to be a next match, especially after the ending of this match. But anyways, so Cesaro and Tyson Kidd continue on. They hit some more double team moves. They hit the backbreaker into the elbow drop from Tyson Kidd. Eventually, though, in the end of the match, and this is what I was talking about when I'm talking about them having probably another match after this ending. So, everybody was pretty much in the ring. Big E took out Tyson Kidd. Cesaro took out Big E. And then Kofi from the outside goes ahead, gets on the apron, grabs Cesaro's head, and shoves it right into the ropes. So, Cesaro goes neck first into the ropes. And then I noticed Xavier Woods takes off his jacket, so I'm like, oh, what's he gonna do? It's just is it just him, expressing frustration or what? So he gets in the ring while the referee kind of has his back turned, with the other guys that are down in the ring. He goes inside the ring, quickly rolls up Cesaro, and so once the ref turns around, he sees somebody with, the same attire as Kofi, so he thinks it's Kofi, and then he goes ahead and counts the cover, counts the 3 count. So Xavier Woods steals the win for the New Day, even though he wasn't allowed to compete in this match. And then something I thought was funny is after the match is over, Kofi was pretending he was the one that got the cover to, kind of not have the ref realize it. And he's like, I did it. And then Xavier Woods is like, yeah, he's so good, whatever. But, yeah, so the New Day retain their tag team titles in a really good 2 out of 3 falls match. After that, we had an interview with Ryback. He talked about Bray Wyatt, spreading negativity. And he says that tonight, the Eater of Worlds gets eaten. And after that, we get a video package for their match, for their feud. And then Bray Wyatt makes his entrance, followed by Ryback. Now, right from the get-go in the match, they started off with a couple strikes, trading punches. Ryback takes control for a short while. And then eventually, Wyatt starts working Ryback's midsection. He actually hit him with the running crossbody pretty early on in the match. And then he also hit him with a splash on the outside. And then later on in the match, they start fighting on the top rope. And it looks like Bray Wyatt was going to go for like a superplex on Ryback or something like that. But Ryback headbutts him off. And then he actually jumps from the top rope, the actual top rope, not the second one, the top rope, and hits a big splash on Bray Wyatt. And it wasn't a splash, like a splash where Bray Wyatt was really close to the ropes. Bray Wyatt was actually, I'd say, in the middle of the ring. So Ryback went a pretty far distance with that splash. But Bray kicked out at 2. Ryback was selling the midsection, and so he could only get like his left arm on Bray for the cover. And like I said, Bray kicked out. Shortly after, right after the pin, Bray goes for Sister Abigail while they're showing a replay of the splash from Ryback. But Ryback gets out of it. He pushes Bray off, and then he gets him up for the shell shock. But Ryback is going towards the turnbuckle, the corner, because Bray's trying to get out of it. And so now Ryback has Bray in the shell shock position, but at the same time he's right in front of the turnbuckle with his back turned to the turnbuckle. So while Bray's up there, Bray goes ahead and takes off the turnbuckle padding. Ryback doesn't see that, so then he gets off of Ryback's shoulders. He pushes Ryback back first into the turnbuckle and then follows it up right away with Sister Abigail, covers him, and wins the match as expected. So Bray beats Ryback. After that, we get a video package for Rusev and John Cena. Rusev comes out first, followed by Cena for the US title match, the I Quit match. So Rusev dominated early on in the match. The crowd in the beginning was chanting, "We want Lana," so Rusev got angry at that, so he got out the ring. And this is after taking out John Cena in the corner. He gets out of the ring and he instructs Lana to go sit down right next to the announcer's table, so that's what she does. And so Rusev goes ahead, goes back in the ring, and starts working on Cena again. He hits him with a couple dropkick. And pretty much after every single move, the referee went ahead and asked the person, receiving the move if they want to quit. So Rusev threw John Cena in the corner into the steel steps a couple times. He hit John Cena with a spinning side slam on the steel steps. John Cena didn't quit. John Cena then got up and he hit Rusev with the attitude adjustment on the steps. Rusev didn't quit. Well, he couldn't say I quit because the ref tried to ask him right away, but Rusev was kind of out of breath from the attitude adjustment. So anyways, yeah. After the AA, John Cena went ahead and he tried to grab the steps. Well, he grabbed the steps and he tried to throw it onto Rusev, who was on the outside, like he did to Bray in their last man standing match, but Rusev got out the way. And then John Cena went ahead and he grabbed Rusev and he put him right in front of the barricade. And he told Rusev, if you're not going to quit right now, I'm going to put you through this barricade. So Rusev doesn't quit and John Cena puts him through the barricade. They then start fighting it out in the crowd. And there's a table there in the crowd. And there was some equipment on it or some laptops or whatever. And Rusev he goes for an Alabama slam out on Cena through the table, right? But he puts him so softly on the table that the table doesn't break. It's like he just put John Cena on the table. So the table just falls down along with John Cena. And Cena doesn't go through the table. So then they fight it out just a little bit longer. And then Cena puts the table back, leans it this time on the wall. And Rusev once again goes for the Alabama slam, but this time with a little force to it, and puts Cena through the table this time. After that, John Cena goes ahead and he hits... Well, actually, before that, Rusev goes ahead and finds where the pyrotechnics controls are. And he starts pressing them, and the pyros go off, kind of like Randy when he faced off against John Cena in that, I think it was an I Quit match too. Anyways, yeah, so he finds the pyrotechnic controls, pyros go off, and then they fight it out on the stage, and John Cena hits an attitude adjustment on Rusev once again, but this time on like some place where the pyros went off after Rusev landed on it, but Rusev, you know, he got out of the way before the pyros went off. So referee asks Rusev if he wants to quit. Rusev says no. John Cena then goes ahead and grabs like a steel barricade. He grabs a steel barricade and he goes ahead and hits Rusev with the barricade, and then he places it or leans it on the apron. And then he goes for the attitude adjustment on it, but Rusev gets out of the attitude adjustment and he suplexes John Cena onto the steel barricade, which bends it. And then the referee asks Cena if he wants to quit. Cena goes ahead and says hell no. So then Rusev gets Cena back in the ring. He locks in the accolade for a while. And John Cena tries to power out of it. You know how he usually gets up with Rusev on his back and then hits him or charges with his back turned to the turnbuckle. But Rusev remained, onto John Cena. He kept the accolade on the full time. And eventually John Cena passed out. So when the referee is asking him if he wants to quit, John Cena's passed out. So he isn't saying anything. He didn't say I quit. Rusev thinks he's won the match, but the referee's like, no, you didn't win the match. You didn't say I quit. Because, of course, he's passed out. And so Rusev goes ahead and then takes off the turnbuckle padding. And then he unscrews the turnbuckle. And now he's got the steel part of the turnbuckle. He then goes ahead, grabs some water, and pours it on John Cena to wake him up. John Cena gets up. Rusev tries to hit him with the steel portion of the turnbuckle. But John Cena trips Rusev, and then he locks in the STF, and he uses the ropes and puts it across Rusev's face during the STF. And Rusev's in there for a while. He's screaming something in Bulgarian or Russian. But, of course, we don't understand, or at least I don't understand it, and the commentary team don't as well. And then Lana goes ahead, and she gets off her chair, and she starts screaming, and then she gets in the ring, and she grabs the microphone, and pretty much quits for Rusev. She says, he quits, but we don't know if Rusev said I quit. So, Rusev didn't say I quit. That's going to be the way to, break up Rusev and Lana. Rusev's probably going to rage tomorrow on Raw, and say that he never quit. And, Lana did that for him because she was afraid of him getting hurt or whatever. So, yeah, John Cena wins the I Quit match, so he's still undefeated in I Quit matches. And the big question is, did Rusev quit? Which I'm pretty sure he didn't. I'm pretty sure that's not what he said. So, after that, it was time for the Divas Tag Team match, the Bell Twins versus Naomi and Tamina. Oh yeah, and actually before this match, Byron Saxton interviewed the New Day. They were happy about their title defense, and they actually said, who are the best 5 tag teams of all time? And they said pretty much New Day 5 times. And then pretty much Byron Saxton told them that at the Elimination Chamber, the tag team titles will be defended in the first ever Tag Team Championship Elimination Chamber. They were drinking, so Big E spat out his drink when Byron Saxton said that. And yeah, that was pretty much it. So, as far as the Divas Tag Team match, Tamina and Naomi actually won that match when Nikki tried to go for a top rope move on Naomi. And on the outside, Tamina went ahead, grabbed Brie Bella, and threw her onto the barricade. That distracted Nikki Bella, and it allowed Naomi to get up, grab Nikki, and throw her off the top rope, and then cover her for the 3 counts, so Naomi and Tamina win the match. After the match, we see Rusev and Lana backstage. Rusev is yelling in Bulgarian at Lana, and then he says, get out, and so Lana gets out, and that's pretty much it. So like I said, pretty sure it's because he didn't say I quit, and she quit for him. Afterwards, we get King Barrett versus Neville, and in this match, at some point in the match, it really looked like Barrett was gonna win. Basically, Neville was gonna go for a springboard move on Barrett, and you could see Barrett preparing for the bullhammer. He, switched up the colors to the red color of the elbow pad. or the red side of the elbow pad. And then Neville jumps, springboards off the rope. And then I'm thinking, all right, Barrett's going to catch him with a bullhammer, and that's it. But actually, Neville saw it coming, and he countered Barrett's bullhammer attempt into an arm drag into a pin. So that was a pretty cool counter. I did not see that coming. I thought for sure he was going to get caught with the bullhammer there. So shortly after, Neville gets Barrett to the outside, and then he does his outside dive over the ropes onto Barrett. And then he gets back in the ring, and the ref's counting, and he's at the count of 9, and Barrett is on the apron now, and he's still not in the ring, and I'm like, yeah, it looks like Barrett is not gonna make it back in the ring. I think he's just gonna, forget about it. And that's what he does. He gets on the apron, then he's like, never mind, and he decides to take the count-out loss. So Neville wins the match, and then after the match, Neville looks disappointed at the way he won the match. And then Barrett comes back in the ring from behind and attacks Neville, and then takes him out the ring. He throws him onto the steel steps and then throws him onto the barricade. He gets back in the ring where he puts on his crown, puts on his cape, and then he celebrates on the top turnbuckle. And then once he gets off the turnbuckle and turns around, he sees Neville's back in the ring, so he tries to hit him with a bullhammer. Actually, no, he didn't try to hit him with a bullhammer. I think he tried to hit him with the scepter, but Neville dodged it and he hit him with a German suplex. And then after that, he followed it up with the Red Arrow. And that was it. So Neville wins the match via countout, but at the end, he still hit Barrett with the Red Arrow. Following that, it was time for the main event match. Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton versus Dean Ambrose. So Randy came out first, followed by Ambrose, and then Reigns, and then Seth Rollins. So right when the match starts, they all look towards Seth Rollins, and it looks like they're all going to go after Seth Rollins. But J&J Security get involved right away. They grab Reigns and Ambrose by the leg and take them out of the ring. So Reigns and Ambrose basically beat up J&J. And then they're all on the outside. And Randy is fighting Seth Rollins on the outside. So Ambrose gets back in the ring and he hits a suicide dive on both Randy and Rollins. And then they're all on the outside except for Reigns, who goes ahead and hits his dive over the top rope onto all of them on the outside. And then after that, you get Reigns and Ambrose taking turns beating up Seth Rollins, and eventually Ambrose tells Reigns to hit Rollins with the Superman punch. So Reigns prepares for the Superman punch in the corner, but then Kane goes ahead and interferes. He grabs... Oh, by the way, Kane, came out first for the match, before anybody else. So anyways, Kane grabs Reigns by the leg and drags him out the ring. And Ambrose got out the ring as well to go after Kane. He tried to go for his rebound clothesline on Kane on the outside, but Kane just hit his uppercut on Ambrose when he came back with the clothesline. So he puts Ambrose back in the ring, and Ambrose and Rollins fight it out. Rollins gains control. He goes ahead and hits Ambrose with the powerbomb in the corner, followed by the superkick, covers him, but Ambrose kicks out. And then Ambrose eventually tries to go for dirty deeds on Seth Rollins, but Kane gets in the ring and he goes ahead and chokeslams Ambrose. So then, shortly after in the match, this is one of the highlights for me of the match, probably the highlight of the match. I was really hoping it would happen. And I thought it would happen too, because come on, you've got all three members of the Shield in there, and somebody else, Randy. So the entire match I was like, please, I want to see the triple powerbomb, and we did see it. So basically, Randy was taking off the announcer's tabletop. He wanted, I guess, to go for an RKO and Seth Rollins or something like that on the announcer's table. We never saw what he was going to go for, but basically, yeah, he takes off the monitors and everything. But then Randy and Ambrose start fighting it out, and then Reigns and Randy start fighting it out. They take out Randy, and then Randy's down. Seth Rollins, Reigns, and Ambrose are up, and then they all look at each other, and then Seth Rollins is like, put him through the table, let's put him through the table. And then the crowd starts, cheering, they pop for that, and they do the triple powerbomb on Randy through the table. So they take out Randy with the triple powerbomb. And then the crowd goes nuts for that. And Seth Rollins, he goes ahead and like puts his arms over, Ambrose and Reigns' shoulders, like they're buddies again. And then he puts his fists down like they usually do when they did the Shield pose. He puts it down, expecting them to do it with him, but they just laugh. Reigns and Ambrose laugh, and then they don't laugh anymore. Ambrose gets a serious face, and so does Reigns, and then Rollins is like looking at them and is like, oh, okay. And then they start beating up on Seth Rollins. Reigns throws the first punch on Rollins, and then Kane comes back in, or, tries to attack them. They take out Seth Rollins, and he, lays on the other announcer's table, so the Spanish announcer's table. And then Ambrose goes ahead and grabs Kane and picks him up and puts him on Reigns in the powerbomb position. So Reigns powerbombs Kane onto Seth Rollins, who's on the announce table. The announcer's table, though, doesn't break. So the crowd goes ahead and chants, one more time, one more time. So then they do it one more time, and this time the table actually breaks. So they powerbomb Kane once again on Rollins and through the announcer's table this time. So then after that, everybody's out except for Reigns and Ambrose. They look at each other and they're like, and Reigns is like, oh, there's not much else to do. And then he tells Ambrose, loser buys the other beer or whatever. So they get back in the ring. They start fighting it out, trading punches. When Reigns hits a punch, the crowd boos. When Ambrose hits a punch, they chant yeah or yes. And so they fight it out. Ambrose gets the upper hand in the beginning. He goes ahead and hits his crossbody / Luthes press move. And eventually Reigns goes for the Superman punch. Ambrose counters it. He goes for the rebound clothesline, but I think Reigns dodged it. And Ambrose also dodged the Superman punch the first time, but the second time Reigns connected. He went for the cover, but Ambrose kicked out. Eventually, Reigns goes ahead and hits the spear on Ambrose. He goes for the cover, but Rollins breaks the pin. And then Reigns gets frustrated at Rollins, so he goes ahead and chases Rollins, who runs away from him. And J&J Security, they try and stop Reigns as well. Eventually, Rollins gets back in the ring, and at some point, Kane takes out Reigns by chokeslamming him on the steel steps. But after he does that, Randy takes out Kane for a short moment. He then gets back in the ring where Seth Rollins tries to hit the DDT that Randy usually does between the ropes on Randy, but Randy gets out of it and he tries to go for the DDT on Rollins. J&J Security save Rollins at that point, but eventually Randy does connect with the DDT on Rollins, and then he prepares for the RKO. And he goes for it on Rollins. Rollins pushes Randy away, and then Kane gets back in the ring, so Randy instead hits the RKO on Kane. That slight distraction allows Rollins to kick Randy in the gut and follow it up with a pedigree for the 3 count. So Rollins beats Randy with the pedigree to win the match. And then after the match, Triple H comes out to celebrate with Seth Rollins, and that ends the show. So what did I think about Payback overall? What were the highlights? For me, the biggest highlight was the Shield triple powerbomb in that Fatal 4-Way. I had a feeling that it was going to happen. I mean, come on. Once again, you've got all 3 members of the Shield in there, and you've got somebody else in the match. It just had to happen, and I'm glad it did. It was a really cool moment, the best moment of the match, and the match overall was really good too. I liked the Fatal 4-Way. I thought actually the Fatal 4-Way was the match of the night. The 3 top matches, in my opinion, for Payback were the Fatal 4-Way, the Tag Team Championship match, and Sheamus vs. Dolph. That was a cool opener, so I like those 3 matches. Now, the I Quit match, it was definitely better than the Russian Chain match. The Russian Chain match was the worst match in the series of John Cena and Rusev. If I were to rank the John Cena and Rusev matches, I would put their Fastlane match as their best match. Their second best match would be this I Quit match. Third match, the WrestleMania match. And of course, last and definitely least, the Russian Chain match. In the I Quit match, when John Cena put the STF on and he used the ropes on Rusev, or when he put the STF on, I was thinking, oh, is he really gonna use the ropes for the STF like he did on Umaga in that last man standing match. Because when he did it to Umaga, he was like choking Umaga, with the ropes. But this time, he just put it like over Rusev's nose or like over his mustache or whatever. So the PG STF with ropes is definitely different. And the New Day versus Cesaro and Kid. I want a third match. Because whenever these two teams, man, they have a match, it's always a great match. And with the ending of the match here, it definitely gives Cesaro and Kid a reason to get a rematch. But with the next pay-per-view being Elimination Chamber, it doesn't look like it's going to be, just Cesaro and Kid versus the New Day. It's going to be Cesaro and Kid versus the New Day versus some other teams in there. I actually wonder how that match is going to work. Big E did mention in the interview, or he questioned if they were all going to be in the same pod. He said we're too big. So I'm thinking that's what's going to happen because, he mentioned that. But, so that would make it so 6 teams, I think, are competing in the same match. I don't know. We'll see what happens at the Elimination Chamber. Also, man, Sheamus versus Dolph, man, I really like that match, and I feel like the blood added to the match, and it was a cool ending, but at the same time, it kind of makes Dolph look stupid, because he headbutted Sheamus, and it ended up hurting him more than Sheamus, and it allowed Sheamus to capitalize with a brogue kick for the win. But who knows, the match might have ended sooner than it would have normally ended, due to Dolph, being busted open. Now, as far as the rest of the matches, the Meta Powers versus the Ascension, not a big fan of the match. I mean, it's like a comedy match, because you've got Macho Mandow and Axel acting like, Randy Savage and Hogan versus the Ascension, who is pretty much, a jobber tag team, which surprised me that they won this match because they've been losing a lot of matches, and they won this one. So I don't know if Axel and Macho Mandow are going to remain as a tag team now that they lost this match. Maybe this is what snaps Mandow and Axel out of it and they stop pretending, they're other superstars. Or maybe they have a rematch and Axel and Mandow win that rematch. Now, what else? The match between Neville and King Barrett, I didn't really enjoy that much, and I didn't like the ending, count-out ending. Would have preferred a bullhammer ending or red arrow, or if Barrett was gonna win, Neville going for the red arrow, but Barrett catching him with the bullhammer. That would have been pretty cool. And when it comes to the Divas match, it's a match that could have been on Raw. It's a tag team match, a normal tag team match. It's not like it's a tag team match with any special stipulation or whatever. They've been having a lot of tag team matches lately when it comes to the Divas division on pay-per-view. I mean, they had one at Fastlane. It seems like they have one every other pay-per-view. So they had one at Fastlane. No, did they have one at Fastlane or was it? Yeah, they had one at Fastlane. And then they had another one at WrestleMania. And then Extreme Rules, it was a Divas Championship match. And then we're back to the tag team match. So actually the only pay-per-view in the past 4 pay-per-views that the Divas title was defended on was at Extreme Rules. I think it's because, really, there's not that many opponents left for Nikki Bella to defend her championship against. And now that she's a face, really the only possible candidates that could take the title away from her at this point are Naomi, and that's pretty much it. I mean, yeah, Paige, you got Paige too, but Paige is a face, so I guess it would be a face versus face situation. Or Brie Bella, but I don't know if they're going to split them up right now. I mean, they just split them up not too long ago, and then Brie forgot about what Nikki did to her and all that. But anyways, the highlights of the show for me: the triple powerbomb to Randy through the announcers table, the Fatal 4-Way in general, Sheamus versus Dolph, and the tag team championship match between New Day and Cesaro and Kid. Now, I will say though, when it comes to the Fatal 4-Way, I thought the ending could have been better. It was kind of anticlimactic, where when it happened, I was like, wait, what? The match is over? Like, I thought Randy was gonna either kick out or somebody was gonna break that pin. I mean, didn't Randy kick out of the pedigree? No, my bad. At Extreme Rules, Randy was the one to hit the pedigree on Seth Rollins, but Seth, I believe, kicked out. Unless it was, because I don't remember if Seth kicked out or somebody broke the pin. Pretty sure Seth kicked out. But, yeah. Anyways, and also, it came as a surprise that Randy was the one to get pinned in that match. I thought for sure that Ambrose was put in the match to get pinned, but instead it was Randy. So that came as a surprise. But I'm happy about that because Ambrose, he kind of, needs wins. And although he didn't win this match, he's also lost a lot of matches, like I said, on pay-per-view. He just won his first pay-per-view match in almost a year, or since the Shield breakup at Extreme Rules against Luke Harper. Apart from that, he's been getting pinned on every single, other pay-per-view, or, not winning his matches. At least this time, he didn't get pinned, although he didn't win the match. Like I said, he wasn't the one to get pinned. And this way, with Seth Rollins pinning Randy, it ends their feud. That way, Seth Rollins finally got his, win or pin over Randy, and that could end their feud now. So, what did you guys think about Payback? Let me know in the comments below, and let me know what you thought was the match of the night. As far as a rating for this show, since I really liked the main event, New Day versus Cesaro and Kid, Sheamus versus Dolph Ziggler, I thought those were great matches. And the I Quit match, while I didn't think was great, was decent. It was good, but not great. I would give this show a 7 out of 10. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, as always, you can click that like button down below. I'd really appreciate it. And I'm out. See ya.